Hello and welcome to Empire of Wargames. My name is Senpai and today we are going to talk about the potential releases for November 2022 when it comes to Games Workshop products, mainly Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40,000. If you enjoyed the content, consider leaving a thumbs up and subscribing, as well as checking the links down in the description below if you want to support what I do. So it has been a while since I've done such a video, simply because all of the releases were very telegraphed for GW, especially over the summer, which was a little bit more of a straightforward time schedule compared to now, when we are moving more and more towards the Christmas time period and a period of time where Black Friday happens and all of the different stores and brands want to sell as much as possible. Now, the other thing is that we haven't received any kind of notable leaks beforehand. There are a lot of leaks for rules, but barely any for releases and schedules and so on. So we are going to talk a little bit about what could release during November and a little bit towards December as well. There's a lot to cover, so let's start with Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar has had a weird release schedule ever since I started following it, especially when you compare it to Warhammer 40,000, which is just way more consistent and not out of whack constantly. And there was an old Battletome roadmap which was updated once already, which is this one. And you can see that during the spring we actually got the Nighthawk and the Daughters of Cain, and then during the summer we got Skaven and so on, and then during autumn it was supposed to be 4 books, but that kind of changed, and now we have this Battletome roadmap, which is weird because the Disciples of Siege and the Lumineth Realm Lords both didn't release during the summer. They both didn't. It is kind of in a transition period, as you can see, because it's not kind of on a scale, but it's still weird to kind of categorize it like that, because we are well into autumn and both of them released fairly recently, which is this month. So it is all over the place. But yeah, we got the Sons of Behemoth already as well, and now we are going to get the Ogre Maw tribes very soon, which means this month basically, because winter starts during the 23rd of December. I think that is the exact day. And yeah, if you think we are going to get Slaves to Darkness for the Christmas time period, it super depends on GW and how they are going to handle it with all the battle forces and so on, because as you might remember, the Slaves to Darkness release has an army box attached to it, similar to the Astra Militarum army box that is also going to release sometime during the next month or two. And so GW is kind of going to flood the market with boxes, especially if you look at the battle forces as well, and they are still going to release a lot of Vanguard and Combat Patrol boxes, so there's going to be a flood of value boxes, which actually makes this time a great time to get into the game, or in any of the games, be it Age of Sigmar or Warhammer 40,000. So yeah, we are going to definitely get the Ogre Maw tribes this month. Slaves to Darkness, as you can see on the timeline, which is in my opinion completely confusing because of the kind of transitions that GW has built in there, and not the clear kind of separation between summer, autumn and winter. It kind of leads me to believe that the Slaves to Darkness are going to release during either at the end of November or the beginning of December, which places it right at the same time that the Battle Forces release, which is kind of not that smart financially speaking. I'm not sure. Maybe some of you have more insights on that than I do, but that's what it looks like to me. Other than that, we don't have too many other informations, but there's still a lot of battle tomes that need to release for 3rd edition. And 3rd edition, depending on if others and me predicted it correctly, every new edition from now on is going to have 3 years of lifespan. So be it for Warhammer 40,000, it is highly likely that we are going to get 10th edition next year, and I fully expect to get Warhammer Age of Sigmar 4th edition in 2024, and then a revision for Horus Heresy in 2025, and then Warhammer 40,000 again, and so on. So yeah, we are going to have to wait and see. Age of Sigmar, in my opinion, is all over the place, but I've also not been following it too closely. I've been playing here or there, and I've been having fun with my Lumineth Realm Lords getting their 3rd battle tome within like 3 years, which is insane for Age of Sigmar standards. But yeah, here we are. If you have any other kind of predictions when it comes to Age of Sigmar and releases for November and December, please let me know in the comments. It is insanely helpful to then kind of include it in the pinned comment and so on, so others can see those as well. The next product I wanted to talk about is also a little bit Age of Sigmar related, which is Warhammer Quest Cursed City. We are going to get a new expansion which is called Nemesis after Night Wars, which is probably going to release this month as well, or rather November, should I say. And this one is just mind-boggling. I wanted to just talk about it, not that much to release. So the Nemesis expansion, you need the game to play it, which obviously makes sense, but you also need Night Wars to play the Nemesis expansion. And you cannot buy Night Wars anymore. Night Wars was a one-print run, and it was just, you know, you're out of luck if you didn't get it, or you have to go on eBay and there pay 150 bucks upwards, which is crazy for a bit of paper cutouts and so on. So you have the option to print all of those, but yeah, Nemesis and the entire release of the Cursed City expansions with no models, no nothing, is super bad, especially compared to Blackstone Fortress and how popular and well managed that was. You know, COVID as an excuse works only so much. It has been quite a while, and the way this has been handled is just so bad. I'm so invested into this because I painted my entire Cursed City box and I was so excited for the expansions, and now I'm not going to get neither of them, which is kind of bad. But yeah, if you are getting the Cursed City expansions and if you've tried them out, let me know in the comments below. I would be interested to read what you think about them. Alright, next up we are going to switch gears and talk about Warhammer 40,000. For Warhammer 40,000 we have quite a bit of stuff coming up. In November we are, as I said in a previous video, going to get the previews and the first kind of reveals for the battle forces for this year. It is always an exciting time. It is the best time in my opinion to get into Warhammer 40k. If you have that kind of money lying around and to get the paints and the tools and a battle force, I think that is the best way to start usually, because the savings are right around the same point of combat patrol boxes, and those tend to have savings of around 30%, but you have more models in there obviously. So yeah, other than that, we are also going to get the army box for the Astra Militarum this month. I'm fully expecting that to happen, and yeah, we're just all excited to see what the rules look like and how the faction plays after the changes. But after reading all of the articles with the Rogel Dawn tank and so on, and, you know, destroying knights in one turn, I'm cautiously optimistic. But GW has a lot to live up to when it comes to the Astra Militarum, because it is kind of the last codex from an established faction. We are still going to get the World Eaters, which is going to be February of next year, which is my prediction. But yeah, the Astra Militarum army box this month, or November should I say, and then in January or thereabouts we are probably going to get the full release with the separate codex. We are going to get the Rogel Dawn tank and all that other good stuff. I'm not sure if we are going to get a combat patrol. I made a video on a kind of prediction what a combat patrol for the Astra Militarum could look like, but considering they are getting an army box, I'm not sure if they are going to get a combat patrol box, because those releases have been all over the place as well. The Leagues of Votann got their combat patrol box very, very quickly, but other factions that got an army box had to wait quite a while for their combat patrol boxes. Or if they were part of a two-player battle box like the Thousand Suns and the Grey Knights were. Those two factions had to wait 6 months in fact. So yeah, we are going to have a lot of Astra Militarum stuff over the next months, and it is going to be very, very interesting to follow that faction and see what players think, because the Astra Militarum player base is actually quite big, and a lot of them are not afraid to share their opinion, be it positive or negative, and that makes it so interesting. Next up, we are going to have a book that is called Arcs of Omen, which I also expect to release in November. Arcs of Omen is interesting because it covers a big event that is going to appear or occur in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. They do those once each edition or thereabouts, and a lot is going to change, and the story is going to be moving forward at least a little bit. And while Arcs of Omen doesn't include any match play rules or anything for competitive players, which I like personally, It is going to be very interesting for me personally because we are going to have rules for boarding actions, and boarding actions are something that is basically 500 points matches using the kill team terrain. There's going to be a separate box as well that I assume is going to release alongside the book. And those are going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to review them for the channel. I'm going to see if that mode and if all of the rules attached to it are any fun and worth it at all. So I'm going to buy the book and then test it out. So if you're interested in reading my opinion on boarding actions and on 500 points games, this is what the channel is basically about. Small points games, introductory games, and introducing people to the hobby. So yeah, I'm very excited to read up on all of that stuff. So I expect and I hope that Arcs of Omens is going to release next month. When it comes to other Warhammer 40,000 stuff, the Leagues of Votann are fully releasing this Saturday, so you're going to be able to pick up their codex, you're going to be able to pick up their combat patrol box and all of the different models like the Hekaton Fortress and Uther the Destined and the Grimnir and so on. And if you're interested in the prices, here they are. The prices are looking somewhat as expected. The vehicles are a little bit more expensive than I expected, but other models are somewhat comparable to a Space Marine equivalents. And yeah, if you're interested in picking them up, you can do so on Saturday if you want to go to the store, or you can pre-order them right now if you want to get them sometime next week, depending on yeah, how quick your third-party retailer stores when it comes to shipping. And lastly, there is only the World Eaters left, which I already touched on. I think they are going to release in February, very, very close to the 10th edition release, which is kind of weird and scary, but it is what it is. They're going to get their codex. I hope that the GW designers and developers are going to design that specific codex with 10th edition in mind, unless 10th edition obviously completely changes the rule set and requires all of the kind of factions to get indices again, which would be interesting, but also kind of annoying for World Eaters players, let's be honest. And also Astra Militarum players have been waiting quite a while for rules, and those rules would only be kind of valid and active for around 8 to 6 months, which is not a long time at all. So yeah, World Eaters around February, maybe January if you are lucky, but nah, it depends. And the last thing is, as I already mentioned, Battle Forces. I'm going to review all of them. Ideally, I will try my best to review them before they go up on pre-order, before they release at least, so you can have an idea how much you're saving, the points, the potential lists, how much the models inside synergize, if it's a good box to start with, or if it's a good box to gift someone who is playing that faction. There's a lot to review about them, and I have tried my best last year to review all of them in time. It was kind of the undertaking because it's 10 boxes all in all with Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40,000 combined. But if you're interested in that stuff, consider subscribing as well, because I'm going to go over them one by one and do a deep dive for each and every box specifically. All right, if you have anything I've missed, please drop it in the comments below. I've obviously not talked about Warhammer Underworlds. There's stuff happening with Gnarlwood in there. I've not talked about Necromunda and so on, just simply because I'm not that invested in those systems, but I would still be interested in kind of reading up on what is going on with those specific games. And if I've missed anything regarding Age of Sigmar Warhammer 40,000, drop it in the comments. I would like to discuss things there. Other than that, I hope this was informative, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.